Dr. Kemi Lawrence, retired Nigerian journalist. It is Saturday, the 12th of October, 2024. This is a short documentary about Mitchell Oluwapo Adeleke. Anu Adeleke, she's called, was born in 2013, and her mother and grandmother contacted me on October 12, 2018, exactly 6 years ago today. 6 years ago, Anu's grandmother, Rocco Labinjo, the wife of the former Professor Labinjo, who passed away, and her daughter, Ayo Labinjo, they contacted me with regards to Anu's paternity, stating that Anu was fathered by David Adeleke, the singer Davido. What did they want me to do? They wanted me to put awareness on this case so that they can start paying child support and supporting the little girl. Anu didn't go to school. She was homeschooled at home by her grandmother. They didn't have much money to take care of her, and they really needed help. When I brought this story out, a lot of Nigerians cursed me, abused me, everything, because of this Davido blindness his fans have, saying that it's a lie, Davido's a family person, he will do a DNA test, he wouldn't abandon his children. Little did some of those fans know that almost every child Davido has had a paternity issue and a denial. Even Imade was denied, and they had to do a paternity test. This has always happened with Davido. So at the end of the day, I had to interview Ayo and I had to investigate her, because I can't insert myself into the story. The headlines came out like this: Davido's first daughter abandoned by singer Kemi Olunloyo alleges. There were a lot of these. Instablog, name it. Now, Senator Demola Adeleke was in the Senate. He had just replaced his brother who died, Senator Isiaka Adeleke, former governor. Demola is now the governor of Osun State. At the end of the day, this is a DM I got on Instagram that year, 2018, that said, the Anu Adeleke looks so much like Demola Adeleke. Senator Demola, just call him to this issue and ask the lady very well if Davido's cousin slept with her too on that very night, because she looks like B-Red too. The person that sent this, is an aide to Demola Adeleke. And the reason why I can say it's an aide is because this person was one of the 3 aides he had when he was a senator in Abuja. PAs, they call them. Now, the whole thing about B-Red, there are something they call recessive genes in families. My oldest son looks like my brother, my late brother, Tayo Lunloyo and Eni Ogunade. Drake's son does not look like Drake or his mother. Adonis looks like Drake's mother, Miss Sandy. Because of the recessive genes in families, people might say, oh yeah, B-Red may have fathered this child. When I attempted to ask Ayo that question in my interview and my investigation, she got upset at me. I don't know why, but I wanted to know the facts. So this is what she told me. Ayo said that on the night she met Davido at a club, she was a waitress. She served about 5 men at the concert after party. They left an Ibadan concert and they came to that club. It was a famous club in Ibadan. Now, she was working there. She said she served them, and Davido gave her the side eye and whispered into her ears that would she like to come to their hotel to hang out after. I said, yeah, I could, but not until I get off work. So they stayed until she got off work, and they all left together. When they got to the hotel, according to Ayo, she said B-Red, Davido's late DJ Olu, Davido's former manager, and one other guy, they all had their separate rooms in the hotel. That she slept in Davido's room, and she had intercourse with Davido, and Davido refused to wear a condom, even though she insisted. Davido was like, oh, but you're like sweet girl, like you wouldn't have any diseases, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, at the end of the day, they had sex. Now, what happened next is what would shock you. Davido was told by Ayo that she was pregnant. And the chat between Ayo and Davido was sent to me by Ayo. And when I saw the chat, the header said B-Red's account. So could Davido be sending Ayo a message through B-Red's account, or Should he be sending it through his own account? So at that point, I had to ask her, how many people slept with you that night? Okay, did you do like a hookup thing? Did you sleep with all of them or some of them or what? She got offended again because I wanted to know the facts. Now, I'm not saying she's lying, but this is a question. You brought this case in front of me and I want to really investigate because at the end of the day, a DNA test is what will exonerate everybody. I will get to the DNA test on part 2 of this video. However, there were immediate issues to solve here. They had gone to the king of their hometown, the Timi of Ede. The king could not even help them. Rockbo Labinjo, the grandmother of this child, went to a palace to appeal to the king to tell the Adelekes. The Timi of Ede ignored her. A lot of prominent people ignored her. And I know that if Professor Labinjo were alive, this wouldn't even happen. If certain people were alive, like the former governor of Osun, Isiaka Adeleke Sherubama, this wouldn't happen. If Davido's mother were alive, this wouldn't happen. So, what was the next thing I did? I went to a person I would not mention, who is the son of one of the kings of Ibadan, Olubadan. Okay, and it's going to be harder now to even guess who it is because 3 of our last kings have died. It's one of their sons. In this guy's office, I was discussing this Davido case. And the prince said, the prince was working at a huge corporation in Nigeria that you all know, but I happened to be in his executive office. He said, Kemi, Davido said that you're the one fueling it. I called a news conference for Ayo Labinjo, her mother, and the little girl. The news conference went viral. There were 8 media microphones at their noses, and they were talking to the media. Instablog Niger contacted me for the video, and they cut it into 11 pieces, and it all went viral in 2018. Now, at the end of the day, every media covered this story. The Nigerian Tribune did this collage of Ayo, Anu, and Davido. In this collage, many people addressed the fact that the child looked like Davido. But looks is not what we do. We do DNA tests. Davido did not interview with the Nigerian Tribune. He simply sent his representative to tell the Tribune that this child is not Davido's child. Kemi Olunloyo is the one that's pushing it and fueling it. Davido already had a DNA test, and it says that he's not the father. Now, back to Ayo. Only a woman knows who they slept with. I've been in that situation before, and Ayo insists that Davido is the only man he slept with that night. But when I was in the corporate office of that king's son, the prince, picked up the phone and called Davido. On speakerphone, he told me to keep quiet, don't say a word. I listened to the conversation. And Davido said in Yoruba, gbogbo alabasuna, brother, kí ló dé tó máa sọ pé mi ni mo father ọmọ yẹn? Báwo ni mo ṣe máa father ọmọ pẹ̀lú aṣẹ́wó? This is what Davido said. Translated as, brother, all of us slept with her. How could I father a child by a prostitute? That's what Davido said. Davido referred to Ayo as a prostitute because she went to the hotel with them. These are the things they call hookups today. Going to the hotels with men, having sex with them, and all these paid transactions. He insisted that she made 30,000 naira a month, and we gave her 120,000, 4 times her salary that night, with Davido insisting that they all slept with her. Well, it didn't sound good in Ayo's ears, so Ayo got upset and she stopped talking to me. I had a promise for the child to support the child for a year, and I paid 10,000 naira to the grandmother every single month for 12 months, and I paid her school fees. We got her to school, and I went to the school, met the principal, and made a payment for the whole year, first, second, and third terms. I did my part. However, what about Davido? Part 2 coming up, the DNA test.